Hello and welcome students to the second class of immunology. So today we'll be discussing about the different types of cells that are involved in the immune system. So as you know, the immune system comprises of the cells and the organs together performing the immunity role which protects us from diseases. So today we won't be talking about the organs because that will be explained in another video in detail. Whereas the cells are different types for the innate response, which is a response given by birth, and different for the adaptive response. So the cells responsible for the adaptive response are known as lymphocytes, and the name, if you break it, cytes means cells and lymph means the fluid present in the lymphatic system. Whereas the fluid present in the blood, as in the circulatory system, is the blood. And this slide, if you see, you will see the first slide is of the blood, and the second slide is after adding a coagulant and centrifugation. You will see the blood is distinguished clearly into two main sections, which is the plasma comprising of 56%, whereas the remaining is of all the different RBCs, which is giving the reddish tinge, and only 1% is the leukocytes. But this 1% is the most important 1%, which provides us with all the immune cells such as the granulocytes and the agranulocytes or the non-granulocytes. So from where do these come? From where do these cells arise? So the answer to this question is that these cells come from the hematopoietic stem cells or the HSCs, which is the main event that helps in formation of these cells. And these HSCs undergo differentiation to form two lineages. The first lineage is called as myeloid cells and the second lineage is called as the lymphoid cells. So the myeloid lineage produces phagocytes, neutrophils, whereas the lymphoid lineage produces the lymphocytes. Now, hematopoiesis or the pluripotent hematopoietic stem cells gives rise to the second generation of stem cells with restricted lineage potential, and this is known as a progenitor cell. So what you can see over here is a mixture of various kinds of cells, and the B, what is marked in B, is a progenitor erythroid precursor or progenitor cells. Okay, now this is a very important diagram which it would be nice if you know this diagram well and you practice drawing this on a sheet of paper. So this is the entire hematopoiesis event, and this hematopoietic stem cells which gives the various kinds of cells is explained over here in detail. So this is the hematopoietic stem cell which is self-renewing. They're called as regenerating cells. They give rise to two lineages, as I said before, the lymphoid lineage and the myeloid lineage. So the myeloid progenitor cells gives rise to several cells such as the dendritic cells, the monocytes, neutrophils, eosinophils, basophil, platelets and the erythrocytes. Whereas the lymphoid progenitor cells gives rise to natural killer cell, T helper cells and B cells, and as well as the dendritic cells. So all of these we'll study in detail. This is another diagrammatic explanation of how the hematopoietic stem cells gives rise to the different myeloid progenitor cells. So we'll move on to these cells, starting with granulocytes. They are the first or the front line attacking cells while giving an immune response, and they are a part of the innate immunity. They are very special because of their staining pattern. They give granules and they are released when in contact with a pathogen. The main functions of these are killing of the pathogens or the antigens, as well as regulation of other cell as well as tissue modeling, and they all have multi-lobed nuclei. The second one is the neutrophils. Okay, the neutrophils are the main effector cells of the immune system, and they are the most out of all. They comprise of 50 to 70% of the white blood cells. They are released from the bone marrow and recirculate, living for only very few days. So they are known to kill microorganism by a process known as phagocytosis, which we had discussed in our first video. And they are when you have a infection and there's a pus that is released, so the cells that ooze out the most are the neutrophils. So the neutrophils or the neutrophils are they look like this. They have this granular um, appearance. They have a multi-lobe nuclei, and they're also known as the polymorphonuclear leukocytes, so called as PMNs. So they stain lightly blue to pinkish in color, and they can be easily observed under the microscope, and also they help in detection whether the person is healthy or no based on the count of the neutrophils. Basophils. Basophils are very few in number. They're less than 1% of the total leukocytes. They're non-phagocytic, and they have coarse blue color nuclei appearance. They are released in allergic responses. They also are released when parasites infect, and they also they bind to the circulating antibodies and help in releasing histamines, which increases the vasodilation, as we studied in the first video. Now the mast cells, they leave the bone marrow as undifferentiated cells and mature in the tissues, and this is the appearance of how mast cell looks under the microscope after staining. So mast cells may be related to basophils because they have a common histamine relationship. The next one is the eosinophil. They have a bilobe nuclei. They're motile. They're phagocytic. They help in killing of the antibody which is coated with the parasites, and they usually shed out their granules, or this is called as degranulation. When this procedure helps in killing of the worms and parasites. So now the myeloid antigen presenting cells are of these monocytes, macrophages, and dendritic cells. They all are phagocytic. They uh, they help in removal of the antigen via phagocytosis, and they ingest the peptides, digest them onto the cell surface, and these are the bridges between the innate as well as the adaptive immune responses, and they make contact with the antigen in the periphery and then interact with the lymphocytes that are present in the lymph node. They secrete proteins that attract and activate other immune cells. So this is the lineage, and this is the diagrammatic explanation. So how do monocytes look? They are monocytes or mononuclear, and they circulate in the blood for approximately 8 hours, and they have this bean shaped mononucleus. Then macrophages, the name suggests, they help in phagocytosis, so they have these projections around them. They become fully matured, and they enlarge, they become phagocytic in function, and they help in digesting all these antigens that are presented by antigen presentation, and they also help in opsonization. So these are few of these cells which play an important role. So I hope you remember the different kinds of cells that we have studied today. The next video I will talk about the different organs, and I hope you draw these, especially the hematopoiesis process, so that it helps you memorize this better. Thank you for watching this video.